on tonight's final, well, ahead of the last weekend of Serie A fixtures coming up this weekend. Only 3 players survived from that side with the 2-0 victory. Those are goalkeeper Juan Musso, Isaac Hayen and striker Gianluca Scamacca. Yeah, so the full team for Atalanta in goal is Musso. Isaac Hayen is joined by the captain Berat Jimsiti and former Arsenal man Sead Kolasinac at the back. Davide Zappacosta and Matteo Ruggeri are your wing backs, with Ederson and Toon Koopmeiners in the middle. A front 3 of Charles de Catalera, Ademola Lookman and Gianluca Scamacca. A Bayer Leverkusen team very shortly, but Atalanta have got us underway at the Aviva Stadium in Dublin. Europa League final live on Flashgo UK. I'm Mark Strange, thanks for joining me this evening. Let's hope we're in for a thrilling game. Atalanta in their traditional blue and black stripes, black shorts and black socks. Bayer Leverkusen, their change strip this evening of all white with their red and black flecks on them. Doesn't matter what colour they've worn this year, they have been unbeatable. But Atalanta are on the attack early here down the right hand side with Zappacosta, the former Chelsea man. He gets into the corner. Koopmeiners, and it's out for a throw in, so it's time to give you the Bayer Leverkusen lineup. Well, they've made some changes, Xabi Alonso. He has the luxury to do so. Their goalkeeper night, not their usual one, is their cup goalkeeper, the former Manchester United Youth Academy man, Matej Kovac, is in for Lukas Radecki. Josip Stanisic, the Bayern Munich loanee, is in a back 3 along with Edmund Tapsoba and the captain Jonathan Tah. In midfield then is Granit Xhaka and Ezequiel Palacios, with the German international Robert Andrich dropping to the bench. Jeremy Frimpong and Piero Hincapié are your wing backs this evening, with a front 3 of Alex Grimaldo, the mercurial Florian Wirtz, and the line is led by Amin Adli, which means they still have the lethal Victor Boniface on the bench. Here come Bayer Leverkusen forward, well read there though by Kolasinac, and he'll clear left footed down the right touchline. And it's back with Bayer Leverkusen here now with Palacios, and now Xhaka, the former Arsenal man. Here come Bayer Leverkusen, it's Wirtz. Stanisic getting forward, midway inside the Atalanta half. The ball will break here for Tapsoba. Wirtz, right hand corner of the penalty area now, attacking the end, housing the Atalanta fans. The Bayer Leverkusen fans are in the far end, the smaller end here at the Irish National Stadium. The Ireland manager, current Ireland manager anyway, John O'Shea, he presented a trophy onto the pitch pre-match, a trophy he never actually won as a player. He did win the big one though, well, big ears as it's called, Champions League with Manchester United. Here's Frimpong now, he's come deep into his own half to get that one. Stanisic, what a year to leave Bayern Munich on loan. He even scored against his parent club, a rarity earlier on the season, the 3-0 victory over Bayern, that I think at that point anybody who didn't think Bayer Leverkusen were serious really sat up and took notice after that one. Koopmeiners is forced to clear it midway inside his own half, out for a throw in under pressure from Palacios. Throw in taken. That's with Xhaka on halfway. Down the line there's well read by Zappacosta. And now for Scamacca to clear, but Tah gets up above him. Jimsiti, the captain. Tah wearing the captain's armband for Leverkusen night. Now Atalanta come away down the right hand side here. Zappacosta into the corner there, followed by Hincapié. Palacios in there too. It's a 2-on-1 in favour of Bayer Leverkusen here, and they come away with it well. Grimaldo now, still deep in their own half. Xhaka from the edge of his own box gets away from Ederson. Nice work there from Wirtz. Just a mercurial playmaker, one of, if not Europe's best all season. One to watch at the Euros for sure. Here's Tapsoba, the big Burkina Faso centre half. Stanisic, the Croatian, sends one down the line there. Header won by Adli, but he's clattered by Jimsiti, who's not happy with the referee's decision. We're 3.5 minutes in. I haven't even just our referee. It's Mr. Istvan Kovac from Romania, and you can see there that Jimsiti certainly has his arm in the back of Adli. He claims he won the ball, which he probably did, but he did so by pushing the Moroccan forward, who, as I say, leads the line tonight with Victor Boniface on the bench, as is Patrick Schick, two players who have stepped up big for Leverkusen at times this season, but then who hasn't, truthfully. This side has been just marvellous from top to bottom. You don't get to win a title unbeaten by not having a team effort. Wirtz with delivery, that's poor for his standards. Midway inside the Atalanta half, it's cleared away all the way back to Xhaka. on the halfway line. He pings one back in. Quarterback style. Wirtz is going for it. Out came Musso with a Superman dive. All in orange there to punch that one clear. Now Frimpong and Lookman are challenging for it. And it's Jeremy Frimpong, the Dutch international, who has it, trying to go in between the 3 blue and black shirts there, and eventually he's crowded out, and Ederson will clear from the edge of his own box, or Willie. Adley's getting his toe in there, as is Xhaka, and too much from the Swiss internationals. He brings the Brazilian to the floor just outside his own box. I'm sure he'll be relieved of that one there, Ederson, because he was a little bit of trouble. But we're going to look again here at Juan Musso coming out with 2 fists, Superman style, to punch away ahead of Amin Adley. Now here's Hyen to Ederson. Atalanta, of course, will not be wanting to beat. There's a ball over the top. They're looking for Lookman, but it's going to travel all the way through to Kovac in luminous green in the Leverkusen goal. Atalanta not looking to be the bridesmaids this season. They were beaten in a final just 7 days ago. The Coppa Italia beaten 1-0 by Juventus. As there's a long ball over the top for Wirtz, and he's got in behind the defence, but Zappacosta is quick and he's going to recover well and send it back to Musso in goal. Who has been sort of flip-flopping in now to the side with Matteo Carnesecchi there, who played in the final last week, and Musso played against Lecce and is back in, much like a similar situation to Kovac and Hrdečky. Oh, terrible pass there by Tapsomba. Now here come Atalanta on the edge of the box with Catalera, but his pass looking for Scamacca is poor and read by Jonathan Tah, but Piero Incape has got himself in some trouble in the corner there with De Catalera, and that's a free kick to Atalanta. The Ecuadorian just needed to get rid of that there instead. Delivery here from him. He hits it hard and low away by Palacios, and Wirtz, who is part of the side his own half, approaching halfway now. The former Arsenal man, he's over halfway down the left touchline. Nobody in blue and black able to get near to him. That's a dreadful pass though. He had 4 white shirted teammates there, but in the end he only picked out Scamacca. Now Atalanta coming down the left with Lookman overlapping Ruggeri. Lookman cuts inside, edge of the box here, still going. Ademola Lookman back out to Ruggeri at the byline, cuts it across, and Scamacca threw himself at it, as did Hincape. Who'd that one come off last? Atalanta looking for the corner, but the referee said the last touch came off the big Italian international. Let's have a look, and it did indeed. He and Piero Hincape both went for that one, an inviting cross from Matteo Ruggeri. Well, it sort of pinball off both of them, so in the end I think it was just a benefit of the doubt to the defender in the end. Gian Piero Gasperini not happy with that decision on the touchline. Going for a bit of a casual look this evening, the experienced Atalanta manager in his jeans, his club coat. Not the warmest evening in Dublin. There's been some good late spring, early summer Irish weather as of late, but of course today, the day of the final, it's been dull and wet, and a bit of wild weather further south in the country as Istvan Kovac gives Twin Coke Miners a talking to there. See him barreling through the back of Ezekiel Palacios, just never getting the ball there, Coke Miners, so just a stern talking to and nothing more from our Romanian official. And here's Jonathan Tah on the edge of his own box. He'll be a crucial part of Julian Nagelsmann's Germany squad this summer at the Euros, but he has 2 big games tonight and Saturday before he can think about that. But just, I mean, I know it's been said over and over again, and what a season for Bayer Leverkusen. Just to sit back and think about this here, regardless of how tonight and Saturday night goes, to win your first Bundesliga title is special. To do it unbeaten, the first German side ever to do it. Over a half century of games unbeaten now for Die Werkself under Xabi Alonso. Into only your 3rd ever European final. And then the Pokal final against second tier Kaiserslautern, where They will be expected. They'll be heavy, heavy, heavy favourites. I think they would have been favourites no matter who they played in that final, but the plucky second division side, who have done superbly well to get to the final, may find their luck runs out there. Here's Cope Miners now to Lookman on the edge of the box. Tapsoba out-muscles him, and away come Leverkusen with Palacios to Frimpong over halfway. He sort of stumbled. And a good challenge there from Sad Kolasinac, the Bosnian, as I said, former Arsenal man who has revived his career in Bergamo after a couple of years in the wilderness with struggling Schalke in Germany. Back in today, the talismanic captain Martin de Roon injured, however named among the subs. We shall see if he's fit enough to come on or if he's required to come on, but he wasn't expected to be in the squad at all, so a bit of a boost for Ladea. Now here comes Ruggeri and Kolasinac down the line, and in the end it's Edmund Tapsoba has to knock it out for a throw. We've played 10 minutes here in Dublin already. Time flies when you're having fun. UEFA Europa League 2024 final. Atalanta 0, Bayer Leverkusen 0 here in Dublin. Mark Strange, your commentator here for Flash Score UK. Glad you could join me. Here's Ederson now to Lookman. Back to Ederson, left hand side, midway inside Leverkusen half. Good skill to get past Frimpong. He's still chasing Ederson down, but that's going to be a corner kick to Atalanta, the first of the night on 11 minutes, won there by Ederson. And in front of the Leverkusen fans, behind that goal that Matej Kovac is manning. It's an end full of the flags and colour, as anyone who follows the Bundesliga, or Leverkusen in particular, will know. Plenty of noise and colour to be expected from all German supporters. Svan Kovac just making sure he's happy with in the middle. Lookman's delivery headed away by Xhaka, back in by Zappacosta, headed down by Kolasinac, back out to Cope Miners on the right hand touchline in line with the edge of the 18-yard box. Finds Zappacosta in some space in the penalty area. He cuts it across, his behind high, and Lookman gets there. It's 1-0 to Atalanta. The Italians lead here. Ademola Lookman with a goal. He finishes high into the roof of the net. He got in front of Ezekiel Palacios, who I don't think saw him coming. And it's Ladea who lead in Dublin after 12 minutes. Ademola Lookman causes bedlam in the Italians' end here at the Aviva Stadium. Great movement. Palacios never picked him up. It's a super ball in from Davide Zappacosta, and the former Everton and Fulham man Ademola Lookman has fired it into the roof of the net to give Atalanta the lead. It all came from the corner, cleared away to Cope Miners. Zappacosta got room in the right hand corner of the box, got all the way to the byline. It was behind Isaac Hayen and Gianluca Scamacca, but Lookman was arriving at the back post, and Ezekiel Palacios, well, I don't know if he didn't see him coming or Lookman's movement was just so good, but he lost his man. And there was Lookman left-footed to put it high into the roof of the net. And Atalanta lead this final in Dublin. What a start for the Italians. But my oh my, one thing we have learned is never write off Bayer Leverkusen. However, Atalanta, you have to say, have a deserved lead here. 13 minutes gone. Ademola Lookman gives them a 1-0 lead. Ball down the left flank for Adli to chase. It's away by Hayen, who was an inch or so away from finishing that one himself, but I'm sure he'll not care. Palacios. Adli and Incape play a 1-2. Back to the captain, Ta in the centre circle. Wirtz to Xhaka. Incape. Right. Leverkusen getting into some passing rhythm here, but being forced backwards by Atalanta, and Ederson has won it back off Granit Xhaka. Now here's Atalanta with De Catalera midway inside the Bayer Leverkusen half. Back to Ederson around 30 yards from goal. Central. Finds the ball in the right corner of the penalty area. Zappacosta. Good challenge on him, and in the end he concedes a free kick on the edge of the Leverkusen box for a foul there on Ezekiel Palacios. He sort of followed through on the Argentinian as he made a good tackle himself. Big goal though, that is, for Atalanta at the start of this Europa League final. Here's Wirtz now. He's been dispossessed by Zappacosta, and free kick given by Istvan Kovac, and Atalanta don't agree with that one, and Bayer Leverkusen have got away with one there. Zappacosta again harrying high up the pitch there. Now he's certainly got a handful of Florian Wirtz's shirt and probably his arm as well, but Wirtz not usually a man to be put off by the intentions of a defender, but he was very lucky there not to get caught out. Jim City heads away now for Atalanta as Bayer Leverkusen enter the Atalanta half. Flicked on there by Adli looking for Frimpong, but Musso will come out of his goal and get to it first and immediately bowls it out to Ruggeri on the left touchline, midway inside Leverkusen half. Terrible touch by Ruggeri, invites Stanisic onto it and he wins it back. Now here's Leverkusen on the attack, ball in behind for Adli in the edge of the box, bobbles around, Kolasinac in the end hooks it away. Good clearance from him. Ederson though sends it forward. Lookman now on the left hand touchline for Ruggeri, down the line there. Looking for Ederson, and Tapsoba had to be quick there just to side foot that one into touch. Xabi Alonso certainly will not be panicking. Plenty of occasions this year he's seen his side go behind. They scored 17 stoppage time goals this year, and incredibly 8 of those 17, so almost 50%, have helped to preserve an unbeaten record. Most recently, like a similar situation to Kovac and Hradecki. Terrible pass there by Tapsoba. Now here come Atalanta on the edge of the box with Catalera, but his pass looking for Scamacca is poor and read by Jonathan Tah. Hope Miners has a hold of Xhaka's shirt. Advantage played by the referee though. Down the right touchline now to Stanisic. Back to Palacios. Now Tah right on the centre spot. He's out left to Hincape, a lateral pass to the Ecuadorian. And back to Tah. Tapsoba. Atalanta's high pressing, forcing Bayer Leverkusen back. Oh dear, and a terrible pass there, and that's a free kick to Atalanta because that terrible pass forced Piero Hincape to slide in on Charles de Catalera, and he caught him, and the referee is going to have a word with Piero Hincape. Not helped there at all by a dreadful pass. I believe it was from Granit Xhaka into his path, and 17 minutes gone, and certainly Bayer Leverkusen not looking overly comfortable, but as I say, you'd be a fool to write them off. Free kick taken short by Cope Miners, back to Berat Jimsiti, his captain. Here he is, gets it back again. Back to Hayen, the Swedish centre half, out to Kolasinac on the left touchline near halfway. Lookman overruns that one though, and it's a throw in right in front of his manager, Gian Piero Gasperini, who celebrated with massive vigour after that goal went in outside his whole bench and the far end of the stadium here in Dublin. Here's Adli, De Wirtz in the centre circle. Stanisic immediately surrounded by two blue and black shirts, but he does well to get rid. Now Tapsoba down the line looking for Frimpong, and behind he's fast. Jeremy Frimpong cuts it back behind everybody. And the effort in the end from Grimaldo, he couldn't get the shot away. It comes back to Stanisic, hits one deflected, and that softened the blow and into the gloves of Juan Musso, who will lie down on the ball there. And Alex Grimaldo, we haven't really heard much from the Spaniard so far. He had an effort there for Stanisic's cutback and just couldn't get his feet right, and it didn't get the shot away at all. Apologies from Frimpong's cutback. In the end it was Stanisic who had the effort deflected into the gloves of Juan Musso. But now at the other end, Atalanta on the attack with Scamacca, but Ta deals them well. That's going to be a great battle all night long between two big physical presences. Hincape wins a throw in off Cope Miners on the left hand side, midway inside his own half. Throw in taken, and Palacios again dawdling, but Wirtz bails him out, but a poor pass is given away to Hayen. And now Scamacca to Lookman on the edge of the box, overlapping run from Ruggeri, goes back to Scamacca, left footed over the top. He claims a deflection, but there was none. And that's a goal kick as we approach 20 minutes at the Aviva Stadium. Atalanta, certainly no fear in them. They are not letting Leverkusen's prior this season scare them. Wirtz with a flick on there, but he gives away to Hayen. I'm not sure who he was looking for, but in the end it's Intercepted by Tapsoba. Now Stanisic midway inside his own half. Palacios, good ball down the middle for Adli. He's outnumbered, but he'll hold it up well and invites Tapsoba to come forward, which he does. Takes it off the toes of Jeremy Frimpong, still going. Good challenge over from Ederson, and he diverts it back into his goalkeeper's gloves from all 30 yards. So certainly fair to say that Xabi Alonso's men not quite clicking so far in these opening 20 minutes, and Atalanta have taken advantage. Adamola Lookman with the goal on 12 minutes, the difference between the sides. He got in the end of Davide Zappacosta's cutback, snuck in front of Ezequiel Palacios and slammed the left-footed shot into the roof of the net. But as I say, right off this Bayer Leverkusen team at your peril. Throw in there to Atalanta on the right hand side, which De Catalera sends back to Zappacosta. Now Hyen goes back to the edge of his own box for Musso, who calmly strokes one forward right footed. Good take on the chest from Lookman on halfway. Back to Ederson, who looks up and clips one out onto the right hand touchline for Jim City. Hyen to Kolasinac, left hand side, midway inside his own half, forward to Lookman, who chests one down, but Gasperini on the sideline looks exasperated, but in the end Jeremy Frimpong can't control the pass from Ezequiel Palacios, and that's a throw in to Atalanta on the left hand side, midway inside their own half. This is the second time the Aviva Stadium has hosted a Europa League final. It also hosted the 2011 final, which was an all Portuguese affair between Porto and Braga, won 1-0 that night by Porto. And there's barely an empty seat in the place tonight. Adli looked like he was caught there by Isaac Hyen on halfway. He was, says Istvan Kovac, and it's a free kick to Bayer Leverkusen. Maybe they'll just be looking at an opportunity just to settle things down a little bit. They have not had things their own way, that's for sure. Palacios to Xhaka, nice ball to Wirtz. Back to Palacios, midway inside Atalanta half. Looked like he was fouled. He was. And free kick it is to Bayer Leverkusen. And there's the first card of the night. And we said a moment ago, Istvan Kovac spoke to Berat Jimsiti, the Atalanta captain, about his challenge. And that was clearly his one warning as he goes into the book here after just 22 minutes. He just caught the toe of Ezequiel Palacios as he nicked his pass away to Amin Adli. Xabi Alonso on the bench just looking for a little bit more impetus from his side, a bit more pace, a little bit more oomph behind things. But they have a free kick here that has blue and black shirts and white shirts lined up on the edge of the Atalanta box. It's going to be roughly right of centre, about 30 to 35 yards out from goal. Florian Wirtz is one of the men standing over it, as is Grimaldo. In the end, Grimaldo plays it short to Xhaka Latli, who pings one diagonal, looking for Wirtz over his head and out for a goal kick. And, well, that training ground move does not pan out for Bayer Leverkusen. And the first real threatening set piece goes for nothing as we get a look at the goal again from Adamola Lookman. Not one that Ezequiel Palacios will want to see again. The cutback from Davide Zappacosta was behind Isaac Hyen and Gianluca Scamacca. It looked like Bayer Leverkusen would deal with it, but Palacios caught out, ball watching, didn't see Lookman creeping in behind him, and say the former Everton and Fulham man striking left-footed into the roof of the net to give the boys from Bergamo the lead that they still hold here on 23.5 minutes. Mark Strange with you here for Flash Score UK as Granit Xhaka skips past Isaac Hyen. It's Atalanta 1, Bayer Leverkusen 0. Xabi Alonso's Invincibles are behind. Ta now on the edge of his own box to Tapsoba. Ball down the right hand touchline in for Frimpong, but well dealt with there by Kolasinac. Kept in by Stanisic, but now Ruggeri has it left hand side right on halfway. Lookman back to Ederson. Now Ta. So now forward to Jim City for Atalanta. Cope Miners. Good challenge from Hincape to win it back off to Catalera. Now Palacios has it on halfway, but Atalanta's pressing is causing Bayer Leverkusen trouble, that's for sure. Tapsoba now inside his own half, plays one straight up the middle for Adli, who appeared to be bundled over Isaac Hyen, but not so, says the referee, and Atalanta go in the attack to Catalera, right hand side, midway inside Leverkusen half. Zappacosta going ahead of him, but the Catalera ignores him, much to the Italian international's frustration. It's back now with Ederson. Ruggeri, left touchline, approaching the penalty area now, doubles back and gives it to Lookman. Lookman gets a right foot delivery in, looped up in the air by Stanisic. Kovac calls off Tapsoba to claim that one out of the Dublin evening sky. And he sends it forward. Adli. And Lookman cuts inside on his right foot past Xhaka, and he hits one into the corner. Ademola Lookman again. The second goal of the evening for the Nigerian international on 25 minutes. It's Atalanta 2, Bayer Leverkusen 0. A screamer from the edge of the box that Matej Kovac never got near, and he has doubled Atalanta's lead with his second of the night. And is this going to be one of those finals that is remembered as the Ademola Lookman final? Kovac with a long ball forward. Adli couldn't hold on to it, and it came back to Lookman. Nobody in white really closed him down. He jinked inside Granit Xhaka, got a shot away before Edmund Tapsoba could get near to him, and he rifles it into the bottom corner from the edge of the box. Talk about the postage stamp. There is no way that Matej Kovac is getting anywhere near that. A beautiful right-footed strike into the corner, and Ladea are in dreamland. It is 2-0 to the boys from Bergamo, and what a start to this final for Atalanta. They were stung last week by that Coppa Italia defeat. They don't want to be the bridesmaids twice in a week, and Ademola Lookman doubles his tally in this season's Europa League in one evening. What a game he is having. What a start for Atalanta. 26 minutes gone. Atalanta 2, Bayer Leverkusen 0. And as I said earlier, it still stands right off Leverkusen at your peril, but they are massively behind the 8 ball here. They have started really slowly, and Atalanta have punished them. They're coming forward again. They had looked like a foul from Tapsoba on Lookman, but nothing doing, says Istvan Kovac. And now it's back at the feet of Matej Kovac, who, well, his ball forward to Amin Adli wasn't great, but there was plenty of opportunities to stop Ademola Lookman before he got that shot away. But once he did, there was no hope for the Czech goalkeeper for Bayer Leverkusen. Now here they come with Xhaka on the ball. 1-2 with Adli on halfway. Hincape on the left touchline. A tight 1-2 with Grimaldo, and it goes back to Ta midway inside his own half. Wirtz, Xhaka, Tapsoba now under pressure from Lookman, and Bayer Leverkusen they are not being allowed to play their game. Incessant pressing from Atalanta. Wirtz forward looking for Frimpong, but Ruggeri is quick and he will steer it back to Musso on the edge of his own box. Musso clears under pressure from Adli. Tapsoba heads it back. Adli knows he's offside, so he leaves it, and James City will nod it back to Musso. My goodness me, what a final so far for Atalanta, for Gian Piero Gasperini and for Ademola Lookman. A wonderful double from the Nigerian international. Has his men 2-0 up and dreaming of a first major title since 1963 and a first ever European title. But here come Leverkusen. Frimpong hooks one forward for Wirtz, well dealt with by Jim City. But Stanisic gets in ahead of Ederson. Xhaka hits one from range. Terrible block though by Ederson. Stanisic will pick it up on the right hand side, midway inside the Atalanta half. Tapsoba to Xhaka. Back to Tapsoba. Xhaka. Oh, nice turn from Frimpong to get away from Kolasinac. He squares it high and gets out before Adli, but was Adli clipped there by Kolasinac as he came in to try and clear? The Moroccan seems to think so. Istvan Kovac says no. Let's have another look at it here. Frimpong, a good turn to get away from Kolasinac in the first place. Hyen intercepted the cross, and it just looks like a bit of a, almost like Adli collided with Kolasinac more than the other way round. The Moroccan helped to his feet by Zappacosta and Musso with some, let's just say, words of encouragement to get back to his feet. Nothing doing as Xabi Alonso sits on the bench discussing what is going wrong with his assistants. Like I said, they were 2-0 down against Roma in the semi-finals with 8 minutes to go and came back to draw 2-2. They were also 2-1 down in the last 16 against Karabakh, came back to win 3-2 with 2 stoppage time goals. So they will not be panicking being 2-0 down after half an hour. They know there's plenty left in this game, but they need to get going because Atalanta are in danger of pulling away. Here's Lookman in the centre circle. Lookman is bundled down by Tapsoba. He was, says the referee, he was in close proximity. And a free kick to Atalanta in the centre circle inside the Bayer Leverkusen half. Kolasinac on halfway to Ruggeri. He goes back to Ederson midway inside his own half, who will ping one forward right footed crossfield ball to Zappacosta, who wins the header there above Grimaldo and gives De Catalera something to chase, and Cape beats him to it, but now the two of them are into the corner together and De Catalera comes out with it. Cope Miner scoops it over the top for Zappacosta, who's into the box. Grimaldo has to be careful. Zappacosta still going, it won't drop for Scamacca, and Tapsoba stabs it away desperately. And now here come Leverkusen on the attack. Xhaka looking up the middle for both Wirtz and Frimpong, but headed away by Jim City. Now Lookman down the left hand side into the Bayer Leverkusen half and approaching the penalty area. Back to Scamacca, who turns and hits one, but an easy save that time for Kovac, and Scamacca holds up an apologetic hand. He probably knew there were better options. A daisy cutter in the end that Kovac could have saved with his eyes closed, truthfully. Those black and red flags behind Matej Kovac's goal haven't stopped waving despite the scoreline. These Leverkusen fans know better than that, but that's dreadful. Really poor from Palacios, putting in Cape under pressure on his own goal line, and he has to slice it out for a throw-in. Really poor. And it's Zappacosta who will take the throw-in. He's got his undershirt on. He and Florian Wirtz are the only two I've seen so far. And Lookman. And it comes and away by Stanisic. All the way to Kolasinac midway inside the Bayer Leverkusen half. Onto the touchline for Ruggeri. Ruggeri back in to Ederson. He'll go back to Hyen in the centre circle. Now Jim City on the right touchline midway inside the Leverkusen half. Back to Cope Miners. Under pressure there from Xhaka, but he gets it to Hyen, who goes back to Musso on the edge of his own box, and he will boom one forward right footed. Scamacca and Ta grappling. Scamacca actually won the header, but he flicked it on to nobody in the end, and Tapsoba can sort that one on the edge of his own box. Xhaka to Frimpong, but intercepted, and it's back with Musso again. We've just over 10 minutes plus stoppage time left at the end of this first half. Atalanta 2, Bayer Leverkusen 0 in the 2024 UEFA Europa League final here in Dublin. Mark Strange with you on Flash Score UK, and Ademola Lookman double as Ladea 2-0 up over Die Werkself here. Frimpong furthest man forward for Leverkusen on halfway. Lookman was tripped, but advantage played as Palacios comes steaming on that one and runs up the middle, and oh, that's a free kick given against Frimpong as he collided with his Dutch international teammate Cope Miners there. Initially the advantage was played in his favour, but it feels like he and Cope Miners more just sort of walked into each other's path, but Frimpong was certainly fouled by Kolasinac, who had a nip at his ankles, but Istvan Kovac, our referee, so this is a free kick in favour of the Italians, who are in dreamland here at 2-0 up. Bayer Leverkusen not firing here at all, but still plenty of time for them to get back into this one. Wirtz, ball over the top from Palacios to Grimaldo. Musso's come away with his goal, and in the end I think that put Grimaldo off as he tried to chip him, but in the end just gently passed it into the Argentinian's chest. My goodness me, Juan Musso, there must have been hearts in Atalanta mouths there, but in the end it worked as a sort of mind game because Grimaldo didn't see him coming until the last moment, and he tried to chip him and that didn't work, and now there's going to be a second booking. Oh, it's going to go to Florian Wirtz. Well, I'm not sure if that was for a challenge or for something he said. I believe it was for something he said, and well, the referee laying down a marker there because the yellow for the tackle has actually gone to Gianluca Scamacca for a robust challenge in the centre circle, but Florian Wirtz was right into the referee immediately afterwards. It's a sliding challenge on Amin Adli, the two strikers coming together in the centre circle. It's not good from Scamacca, worthy of at least a yellow, if not more, but Florian Wirtz was straight in on the referee's ear to let him know. And Istvan Kovac, our Romanian official, said, I don't need to hear you, you don't need to tell me, I know it's a booking, so here, have one yourself. There's Ta now, free kick taken for Leverkusen. Tapsoba, heavy touch, almost invited Lookman on, but he wins it and Stanisic sends it on. Here's Wirtz now, over halfway, he just has not been able to get going, Florian Wirtz, and that yellow card is probably a symptom of his frustrations in the opening 35 minutes here, but he needs to be careful. His team need him. Now he's walking a tightrope for the rest of the game. Tapsoba now with the ball midway inside his own half. Right hand side, slightly forward to Stanisic. Palacios to Wirtz on halfway. Ball inside to Frimpong, who is barreled over by Kolasinac. That's to be something that Atalanta will need to watch going forward, is their discipline. They're giving away some silly fouls. They already have Jim City and Scamacca on a booking. Here's Nkape, left corner of the box of Wirtz. Out in that left touchline is Adli. Xhaka scoops over the top for Wirtz. He's in behind here. Musso comes out and he beats Wirtz to it. He just couldn't get Xhaka's pass under control, but that's more like it from Bayer Leverkusen. Almost clicked into place there, but Xhaka's ball just a little bit too long for Wirtz. In fact, it actually clipped off Wirtz's chest on the way through, and that actually took it away from him and into the gloves of Musso, who come out to get it before Wirtz. Long ball forward. There's Scamacca beating Tada, another header, but he's looking at his teammates saying, run beyond me, you know I'm going to win those headers. But none of them have so far, and into the glove of Mate Kovac. And he gets it back from Ta. Out to Nkape, and Bayer Leverkusen need to start soon here. And there's a foul by Zappacosta on Adli, who's dropping deep. And now Frimpong has been sent through the middle. Blue and black shirts in his way. Kolasinac, good challenge. And it's a corner to Bayer Leverkusen, their first of the game. That's more like it though from Bayer Leverkusen, but Kolasinac equal to Jeremy Frimpong there. That's going to be a corner kick. It's going to be, I believe it looks like a left-footed outswinger. Is indeed from Alex Grimaldo. In it comes, poor, headed away by Ederson at the front post, and Frimpong is furthest man back near the centre circle to go and get it. Nkape now will ping one back in there looking for Ta, and a good header one there by Ruggeri above big Jonathan Ta, and then Ruggeri, excellent work there as he and Ta went shoulder to shoulder, but Ruggeri slid that one into touch. And it's Stanisic right hand side, midway inside the Atalanta half. Palacios immediately points upon my coat miner, so he lays it off short to Xhaka. Wirtz now, good sliding tackle by Ederson, and it's broke for De Catalera, and he'll go over halfway. It's 2-on-4 with white shirts outnumbering blue and black. In it comes Scamacca, edge of the box. He tries to roll away from Ta, but in doing so he invited a challenge from Palacios, who wins it back. And again Scamacca is looking round and going, where was my help? He's not quite cutting an isolated figure up there, but that's a couple of times now where either he's won a header or he's held the ball up and support hasn't really been forthcoming. But whenever Ademola Lookman is doing what he's done tonight, I don't think Scamacca can have too much complaints there. Leverkusen now, who are risky on the edge of their own box, but Wirtz gets it away. Frimpong battling with Ederson, but it comes to Kolasinac on halfway, now on the left touchline for Lookman. Oh, good challenge on him by Adli, who came back to help out defensively. Now Xhaka down the right hand side. Frimpong's fast, but not that fast. Ball far too heavy from Xhaka, and it's out for a throw in on the right hand side, midway inside the Atalanta half. And we're getting into the last 5 minutes here of normal time at the end of the first half of this Europa League final. One that was supposed to be part 2 of the invincible treble for Bayer Leverkusen. And so far, they have not looked like doing that. But this is a Bayer Leverkusen team when it is not over until it is quite literally over. And I'm sure Xabi Alonso will have plenty to say in the dressing room at half time. We still have 5 minutes plus any stoppage time until he gets his chance to speak to his team. What can they do before then? Here's Nkape, left hand side just inside the Atalanta half, back to Xhaka. Now Wirtz on halfway. Xhaka again, left footed ball down the left touchline there, well read by Zappacosta, kept in by Adli. Back to Xhaka near halfway. Xhaka under pressure from Cope Miners. Grimaldo, good challenge from De Catalera on Adli to run a throw in for Atalanta. There seems to be a second ball on the pitch as one is bounced back on, but that's quickly dealt with and play continues. Now Wirtz in the centre circle. Back to Ta, now Tapsoba on halfway right hand side. Further forward down the right flank to Frimpong, but he's forced backwards by Ruggeri, and Tapsoba will go back to Ta. Bayer Leverkusen are being forced backwards every time by Atalanta. Now it's back with Piero Nkape on the edge of his own box. Xhaka, poor pass, but Adli is quick enough to beat Kolasinac to it. But they're the first time ball for Frimpong to chase down the middle, and he gets to it. Can he beat Ruggeri? Frimpong, now Zappacosta coming across, and Frimpong's been pushed under the left corner of the penalty area. Back to Grimaldo. Good skill to beat Zappacosta. Alex Grimaldo back to Frimpong. He runs into De Catalera, and the ball rebounds away for Atalanta to clear all the way down where Ta is going to have to beat Scamacca to it, and he does, and rolls it back to Kovac. And he gets going again with Nkape. Now Xhaka, Palacios, in the centre circle. Plenty of blue and black shirts in front of him. He plays it out left. Now to Grimaldo and Wirtz, who has not been able to work his magic on this game. Xhaka, ball down the line to Wirtz. He cuts inside now, midway inside that Atalanta half. Good ball. Oh, it's just too long for Palacios, and well read by Kolasinac. And now here come Atalanta on the break. Now not many blue and black forward. Scamacca and Lookman only ones, but Scamacca with a banana pass out into the right hand side of his foot to De Catalera on the right hand corner of the penalty area. Charles De Catalera on his left foot, and Kovac gets down to save well. He had to. That was a rasping drive from Charles De Catalera, who was afforded way too much time, and then Cope Miners thought he'd won it back, but the referee says that's a foul. But a good save there from Mate Kovac to keep this one at 2-0. Good work from Charles De Catalera. Piero Nkape slipped at the wrong time and gave him a chance. Left footed strike hard and low, and the Czech goalkeeper got down to win it. And I think seeing that one again, the foul from Cope Miners on Grimaldo is harsh to say the least, but it's now Leverkusen attack down the left with Adli. He looked for Frimpong, who isn't happy with that, and also isn't happy, I think, with the attentions of Matteo Ruggeri in the middle. So if you look to the bench tonight for Bayer Leverkusen, there's certainly options there. Robert Andrich, the German international midfielder. Victor Boniface is there. Borja Iglesias, Patrick Schick, Nathan Tella, all attacking options on there. As Ederson is down here now, I think he's been bumped into slightly. He's lying on his back in the middle of the park. Let's see what's happened there. Oh, he's went for the header above Ezekiel Palacios. Yep, that's a sore one. He's just landed sort of on the small of his back. And, well, we're now getting a look at Ademola Lookman. What a 45 minutes he has had. And the Atalanta fans are in dreamland here. His first, a good finish from Zappacosta's cutback where Palacios fell asleep and lost his man. The second, well, what a beautiful goal it was. Cut inside, Xhaka on the edge of the box, made some space for himself, and bang, into the bottom corner. Past Mate Kovac. It's 2-0 now. We get back underway here. Throw in, taken by Ruggeri, looking for Scamacca. One back though by Stanisic. As Ederson is back on his feet and will soon return to play. In the meantime, Xhaka will take out the middle. Ederson is back on the pitch now. Xhaka is into the centre circle. For Hincape, he's getting forward now. Atalanta doing some serious running, and your only concern is it sustainable into the second half? We shall see. And Leverkusen, that's certainly not sustainable for them. Granit Xhaka with the ball to nobody, that runs into the grateful gloves of Juan Musso, and well, this has not been vintage Bayer Leverkusen this first 45, that's for sure, but they've already done this against Italian opposition this year. The semi-final second leg at home to Roma, they were 2-0 down on 82 minutes, and even though one goal would be enough to see them through, they kept the unbeaten run going with 2 late goals to draw 2-2. And we're into 2 minutes of added time here now as Zappacosta overruns one on the left hand side, and it's a throw into Leverkusen midway inside the Atalanta half. Xhaka. Grimaldo, nice 1-2 with Wirtz, keeps it in the left hand side, in line with the edge of the penalty area. Now Alex Grimaldo clips one in there to nobody in particular, but the clearing header only comes to Adli, but Ederson can get in and hacks clear. Only as far there was Granit Xhaka, who's going to tee up a shot. Ooh, and that had Musso scrambling. That's close from Granit Xhaka. Juan Musso gives a wink as if to say, I had it covered. I'm not sure he did. It was a dipping effort from range there from Granit Xhaka. Well, perhaps Musso did have it covered, but he certainly had Atalanta's Argentinian goalkeeper scrambling there, Granit Xhaka. But I think if you're Atalanta, and really that's the closest Bayer Leverkusen have come, if you'd have told them you'd be 2-0 up, and that's the closest Leverkusen would come, would be a long range effort in stoppage time, I think they'd take that. The Leverkusen fans still making loads of noise here inside the Aviva Stadium. But it's Lookman now on the left hand side on a hat-trick. Ademola Lookman invites Ruggeri onto it, but he miscontrols, does keep it in though, but Kolasinac is forced to slide in and concedes a throw. Midway inside their own half here for Bayer Leverkusen. Josip Stanisic, ball in hand, ready to take it. We have about 30 seconds or so remaining of stoppage time at the end of a first half that has, well, not gone to script at all. We knew Atalanta would not just roll over for Leverkusen. There's another poor pass out on the left touchline for Grimaldo, which just about sums up Bayer Leverkusen's dreadful first half here. Stanisic looking for Grimaldo, but too long for the Spaniard. That sums up Leverkusen's half. I said Atalanta weren't just going to lie down and let Leverkusen write history. They want to write their own history, and a double from Ademola Lookman has them in front 2-0 at the break. I thought that was the break, but it's actually a free kick to Atalanta, which will more than likely be the last play of the half. But an Ademola Lookman double in this first half has Atalanta 2-0 up against an out of sorts Bayer Leverkusen, who will need to go in here at the half-time break, which is blown for now. Xabi Alonso straight down the tunnel. He'll be repairing, I'm sure, a firecracker to give to his team at half-time, because they are 2-0 down to an Ademola Lookman double, a fabulous double from the Nigerian. It's Atalanta 2, Bayer Leverkusen 0 at half-time. Join me for the second 45, where we will see, can Die Werkself win a Europa League for the first time and keep this unbeaten run going, or will it be history with a first European trophy in Bergamo? Join me shortly. Well, quite the first half here in this 2024 UEFA Europa League final. I'm Mark Strange here, and I've just been getting through a first 45 that has seen a rampant and Ademola Lookman inspired Atalanta lead, and out of sorts Bayer Leverkusen 2-0 at the break. Lookman with a first half double, and Bayer Leverkusen just haven't been able to get going, but anyone who has watched any of Bayer Leverkusen this season will know only a fool would bet against them here. They were 2-0 down with 8 minutes of normal time to go in the semi-final second leg against Roma, and even though a goal will be enough to send them to Dublin, they went and got 2 to keep the unbeaten run going. And I would say that Xabi Alonso has sent a firecracker in that dressing room at half time, and we have seen the introduction here of their big striker Victor Boniface on for Josip Stanisic, and leading the line. They need to be a bit more of a focal point than what Frimpong and Adli and Wirtz were giving him in the first half, as there's a free kick to Bayer Leverkusen on the halfway line. A strange sub 2 for Atalanta at half time, and that Serge Kolasinac did come out and lined up as if he was about to start the second half, and then motioned to say he was a little uncomfortable. I don't know if it's a cut or a bruise on his knee. He was motioning down to his knee anyway, and he has been replaced by the young 20-year-old Giorgio Scalvini. Here's Boniface, though, a big man, holds off the challenge of Hien and looks for somebody in white in behind, but over all their heads into the gloves of Juan Musso. So that means in the lineups as it is then for Atalanta, it's Juan Musso in goal, captain Berat Jimsiti and Isaac Hien. They're now joined by Giorgio Scalvini in the back three, not Kolasinac, Davide Sappacosta and Matteo Ruggeri, the wing backs, Ederson and Toon Koopmeiners in the middle, Charles de Catalera, and the man of the moment, Ademola Lookman, his double there up front, along with Gianluca Scamacca. And now for Bayer Leverkusen, Mate Kovac in goal. It's a back three now of what looks like Piero Hincapié, the captain Jonathan Tah, and Edmund Tapsoba, with Granit Xhaka, Ezequiel Palacios and Alex Grimaldo in midfield, and then it'll be Jeremy Frimpong, Florian Wirtz, Amin Adli, all in support now of Victor Boniface. So 3 minutes into this second half, and it's a throw in now to Atalanta on the right hand side. Davide Zappacosta, former Chelsea man, will take it in front of his manager, already being told to hurry along by our remaining official, Svan Kovac. Surely he couldn't be doing any time wasting now on 48 minutes, but every second counts, I suppose. Atalanta here in this final. Well, they got through a group. Well, I had Lookman coming forward on the left here, more than that in a second. Lookman left corner of the penalty, is still going on a hat-trick. Lookman cuts it back for De Catalera. Hincapié gets it away, and Leverkusen will come away with Florian Wirtz. Referee falls over, but play continues, and Wirtz being held back by Ederson. Advantage played though as Wirtz keeps going, eventually robbed by Koopmeiners, and the referee says advantage over, much to Florian Wirtz's frustration, but he has to be careful. He's already on a booking for some talking to the referee in the first half. Koopmeiners across, Hincapié gets there with De Catalera lurking behind him. A crucial interception from Piero Hincapié as the ball across from Koopmeiners got past Jonathan Tah. Scamacca was there, but had Hincapié not got to that one, Charles de Catalera is tapping into an empty net at the back post, and he knows it. He's the head and hands. What an interception by Hincapié, and what a huge moment that could have been in this final. A final, as I said, that Atalanta got to. They were in a group. They defeated Raków Częstochowa, the Polish champions, home and away. A win and a draw with Sporting, and a win and a draw with Sturm Graz before they met Sporting again in the last 16. Again, a win and a draw, enough to send them through. We had that famous night at Anfield in the quarter-finals, a 3-0 win. Liverpool's heaviest ever home European defeat meant the 1-0 defeat in Bergamo didn't matter. A lot of Liverpool fans, we thought they would be here. Corner coming in, headed away by Boniface back there, doing some good defensive work. Lookman, now City in space on the left hand side, cross blocked by Boniface again, and Palacios will clear. Now Wirtz. I say many Liverpool fans probably thought they would be here. Many of them may actually be here tonight. Not seeing their side though. But now here's Frimpong. He is pacey down the right hand side, gets the better of Ederson, who surely has pushed him to the ground there. He had just escaped the booking earlier, and I really would be surprised if he doesn't go into Istvan Kovac's notebook. He actually, at the very least, it's a corner to Bayer Leverkusen, as Ederson did get his foot in there, and that's all that has been given in the end. I thought maybe it was a foul, but just a corner for Bayer Leverkusen, who, well, the quicker they can get back in this one, the better. In comes the delivery from Grimaldo, left footer, is a good one. It's still bobbing around in there. Tal went up, and Ruggeri volleys clear. Not a great one, but it'll do. Anywhere will do sort of job there from Matteo Ruggeri. And that's a throw in the left hand side, midway inside the Atalanta half for Bayer Leverkusen, taken by Ezequiel Palacios, who was caught out somewhat by Ademola Lookman for the first goal. And that's another foul, this time from Zappacosta on Palacios, just on the left touchline. And Atalanta already have their captain Berat Jimsiti and Gianluca Scamacca on a booking, perhaps lucky not to have more. Although when you actually look at the foul stats, Bayer Leverkusen have, well, they've suffered 11 fouls. That was a bit of a misleading stat I was reading, to Atalanta 7, so Atalanta have conceded more fouls. Now, free kick on the left hand touchline from Grimaldo, left footed delivery, that's poor. Volley clear by Koopmeiners, first man. Xhaka nods it back in, but nobody in white can get there, and De Catalera will head away for Lookman on the left hand side, midway inside his own half. Back to Scalvini on the edge of his own box, the half-time sub. Socked round the shins, Jack Grealish style, plays on forward right footer. It's a good one, nodded down from De Catalera to Lookman on the left-hand side. He's got Ruggeri in support, he goes inside to Ederson instead, also with the socks round the shins. Now he brings in Jimsiti, the Albanian international, the Atalanta captain, Zappacosta on the right-hand side, midway inside the Leverkusen half. Lovely skill from Koopmeiners to Catalera. Now here's Jimsiti still trying to go through, but Hincapié beats him to it, but De Catalera comes walloping into Alex Grimaldo there, but concedes a throw in, but gets a round of applause from the Atalanta fans behind that goal. Away by Leverkusen, Adli, Boniface, big strong man, he holds it up for Adli, and now here's Wirtz run through the middle of it. Ederson does well, read the situation, comes across to cover and clears, only as far as Palacios on halfway, who tries to spin away from Koopmeiners, but is brought to ground by the Dutch international, and away to go Leverkusen again with Ta in the centre circle, Dean Kappe to his left. Grimaldo. Adli on the left touchline, midway inside Atalanta half. Nice footwork there from Wirtz. Boniface, good challenge from Scalvini. The youngster up against a formidable opponent here in this second half. That's a good start. Oh, it's a bit of midfield bobbling there, and a good bit of challenge from Hincapié to win it back off Scamacca. Now it's Wirtz to Tapsoba, edge of the box here. Edmund Tapsoba, Frimpong, right hand corner of the penalty area now. He's into the box there, faced up by Ruggeri and Scalvini. Comes back to Xhaka along the edge of the box. Hincapié, space for Grimaldo, left hand corner of the box, immediately closed down by Zappacosta, but overlapping run from Hincapié and good defensive work from De Catalera. That's a corner to Bayer Leverkusen in front of their fans in the smaller end, but here at the Aviva Stadium behind Juan Musso's goal. Corner taken short between Wirtz and Grimaldo. Comes back to Palacios, right or left hand corner of the penalty area. Sorry, Wirtz, another good block this time by Koopmeiners, and that one's out for a throw deep in Atalanta territory on the left hand side, which Grimaldo will take, the Spanish international. Now Granit Xhaka midway inside the Atalanta half. Pokes one forward for Edmund Tapsoba, right hand side of the penalty area. Looking for Frimpong, he just didn't read it, and Ruggeri is able to see it out for a goal kick, and slightly better from Bayer Leverkusen in this second half, but as we played 10 minutes now, I'd say Xabi Alonso will still be looking more from his side. As we get a look at the Atalanta bench, looks like Mario Pasalic is getting ready, but we also saw Martin de Roon sitting down there, the Dutch international, the Atalanta captain, who limped off in last week's Coppa Italia final defeat to Juventus, and announced earlier on this week that it looked like he wouldn't be able to make it for the final. He's at least made the squad, which I'm sure has been a big boost for them, as Scamacca now is in trouble. He's collided with Palacios, and as I mentioned, the big striker's ready on a booking this seat. It's actually Nkape, and well, I'd say he's overreacted there, Piero Nkape, I'm sorry. I'm sure it might have hurt a little bit, but he hasn't exactly been caught by a flailing arm, as Leverkusen are claiming there. Scamacca, complete with the neck tattoo of the angel's wings. Escape without a second booking, that would have been a very harsh one. Had Istvan Kovac decided to brandish a second yellow for the former West Ham striker. Here's Grimaldo now on the left hand side on the halfway line. Nice flick on from Adli to Palacios. Far too heavy a pass. Grimaldo was never going to catch that one. It's just those bits of accuracy that normally Bayer Leverkusen are so good. They're just so good at doing the basics. I think I heard someone say that Bayer Leverkusen under Xabi Alonso have had a no excuses policy, and that's part of it. Here comes that sub. It's Charles de Catalera, who's coming off here on 56 minutes for the Croatian Mario Pasalic. A good outing from the Belgian, who I mentioned earlier, is on loan from Milan. But now the former Chelsea man, Mario Pasalic, will come and slot in the midfield. I'll try and get a read for how that changes the Atalanta attacking lineup. So far it looks like he might be going into sort of an advanced midfield role, but we shall see. There's Frimpong, now back to Grimaldo on halfway. Palacios in the centre circle. The Wirtz, who has been had a quiet evening by his standards, and he's been out-muscled there with Isaac Hayen, but he sticks with him well and wins it back. Now Frimpong's cross deflected, and Musso prevents the corner. Juan Musso, all in orange tonight. The Atalanta keeper dives on that one and has a little lie down with it. Good work from Ederson to get in there and get a foot on that one to take the sting out of it and divert it into his goalkeeper's gloves. So Atalanta, not only would they win a European trophy the first time in their history, as Pasalic concedes a foul on halfway on Palacios, but they would be the first Italian team to ever win the Europa League in its current guise. The last Italian team to win the UEFA Cup as it was then, but Europe's second tier, was 1999, that famous Parma team. So no Italian side has won Europe's second tier in the 21st century, quite incredibly. Of course, we had Roma beaten on penalties by Sevilla last year. Inter were beaten finalists back in 2020, but no Italians since Parma in 99, so it'll be double history for Atalanta. As Jim City clears, Leverkusen just edging possession here, about 60%. Boniface out of Wirtz, who tries to skip away from Scalvini and has his path blocked by the young half-time replacement. And it's a free kick to Bayer Leverkusen around 30 to 35 yards out. Their supporters are bouncing around the Aviva despite the deficit. They will support their side right until the end. I mean, this season has just been above and beyond their wildest dreams already. Boniface to Wirtz, looking for Boniface again, but it's too hard, although Adli will keep it in and cuts it back. Musso back to Frimpong over the top. Oh, that was a chance for Bayer Leverkusen. The cutback there from Adli was palmed away by Musso into the path of Jeremy Frimpong. And his left foot, he's just leaning back and rushed the volley and put it over the top. And Florian Wirtz and those Leverkusen fans with hands and head and hands, whatever you want to call it, they are beginning to worry a little bit, I think, some of those Leverkusen fans, although I keep mentioning it, you never rule this team out. They are the masters of the late goal. But one now, I'm sure would be nice. Lovely ball there from Kovac to get Tapsoba over halfway. Infield to Palacios, and now Xhaka down the left wing there to Adli. Ooh, and he gets away from Zappacosta, who caught him, I think, And that is going to be a free kick, and I think Davide Zappacosta, yep, he's going to get booked there by Istvan Kovac, and has an apologetic handshake for Amin Adli. Nothing that Zappacosta could argue about there. Adli just nicked it away from him and mistimed the sliding challenge. Nothing malicious about it, but a certain foul, and at the very least, if not for that foul alone, Zappacosta will have been booked there just for the accumulation of fouls. So Alex Grimaldo over this free kick, along with Florian Wirtz, left hand side, around 25 yards out, almost on the touchline. Good delivery from Grimaldo, a good header away though by Scalvini, who has been solid in his 15 minutes since coming off the bench. We've played an hour now in Dublin. It's still Atalanta 2, Bayer Leverkusen 0. This 2024 UEFA Europa League final. Are the boys from Bergamo going to be the first team to stop Bayer Leverkusen this year and stop this invincible treble? Grimaldo, misplaced pass for Adli, and well intercepted there by Atalanta. Zappacosta down the right hand side, midway inside his own half, will send one long. Lookman the intended target. He and Xhaka are colliding, and Lookman wanted to foul off the former Arsenal man. He gets one eventually. It was a bit of a late call from the referee, unless maybe he got a word in his ear. Xhaka complains, and Lookman gives him a wry smile as if to say, you know rightly what you've done. So, a free kick to Atalanta just inside the Bayer Leverkusen half, which Giorgio Scalvini will take and just rolls it short to Ederson. He goes back to Isaac Hayen. Cope Miners in the centre circle, almost cut out by Adli, but uses James City. And you have to say, Atalanta, they look comfortable on the ball. They always look, there's options there. Lovely flick from Lookman, and again from Scamacca, and the return from Ederson for Lookman is well read by Tapsoba. But saying Atalanta look comfortable and confident on the ball, and there Jonathan Tah gives up straight to Ederson in the centre circle, who's passed for, well, I'm not sure who that was, but it was far too long anyway. But generally speaking, Leverkusen just have not been at it tonight. They surely can't burn out. But keeping an unbeaten streak going like this all season is difficult. Xhaka now under pressure in the edge of the box, and he's given it away to Pasalic, who slipped at the wrong moment, and then Xhaka is hauled down with Cope Miners midway inside his own half. So the Swiss international escapes there. Nkape, left footed forward by Xhaka. Nice ball looking for Boniface, but well dealt with by Hayen. Another handball by Isaac Hayen, but the reason he handled it was, according to the referee, he was pushed by Amin Adli. And that is indeed the case. So free kick here to be taken by Berat Jimsiti, the Albanian international, the Atalanta captain. Good header one by Nkape, but it'll drop for Scamacca, who tries to play in Cope Miners, and he's brought down, is he? Well, he was, but no free kick given, says the referee, and now Leverkusen will break. It's Wirtz over the top, left hand side for Boniface. He's to the back, lovely cut back away from Hayen, but there's nobody in white there, and he gives it straight to Ederson, the edge of the box. Now Xhaka in the centre circle. He's now approaching the box. Granit Xhaka thought about a shot, but plays it to the right corner of the penalty area to Florian Wirtz. Good footwork from Wirtz, that's more like it from him. He dinks him into the back post looking for Grimaldo. Musso goes up and claims it well. Good brave goalkeeping from Juan Musso, with Alex Grimaldo bearing down on him. He grabbed it the second time of asking. Wirtz just teasing one into the back post. Pasalic was there, Grimaldo was there, but Musso came out and grabbed it superbly at the second time of asking. Grimaldo, that was a full-blooded challenge from him. Came in with a head, looking for that one. I see Bayer Leverkusen fans are, well, let's say they're wanting more from their team. Tonight anyway. This incredible season, maybe tonight just isn't to be their night. However, still plenty of time to go, although Juan Musso is on the ground on his back, feeling the effects of coming bravely to catch that cross. I'm sure he will be troubled plenty more in the last 25 minutes or so. He is back to his feet now, the Argentinian goalkeeper, all in orange. I think maybe just getting a word there from referee Istvan Kovac just to say not to be wasting any time. He knows if he's up to any tricks. So then we'll get it back on the way, volleying it, side-footed forward. Headed away by Nkape. Cope Miners on halfway, scoops it forward, looking for Scamacca over his head. Well won by Ta, but won by Ederson above Xhaka. But the knockdown from Scamacca is too long for Lookman, but he does get it up instead, or in front of Wirtz, should I say. Lookman down the left-hand side, Ruggeri into the corner, followed by Frimpong in there, forces him backwards, but keeps it with Ederson around 30 yards from goal. Cope Miners, Pasalic, Jim City over the top there looking for Scamacca, but Nkape wins it back, but again given away by Bayer Leverkusen, and Zappacosta has it in the right hand corner now, tries to get across in, blocked by Palacios, and will spin out for a throw in right in the corner. I think Zappacosta was hoping that one would go out for a corner kick, but we'll take the throw in regardless. Davide Zappacosta. With ball in hand, ready to take that throw. Onto Pasalic, and win another throw there off Palacios, just slightly further back. We've got about 25 minutes plus stoppage time to go. It is still Atalanta 2, Bayer Leverkusen 0, thanks to Ademola Lookman's first half double. Bayer Leverkusen not fully at the races so far tonight, but and many times has that been said of them this season, they've come back to do the business. Flicked on here by Pasalic, volley clear rather unnaturally by Nkape, out for a throw in, nearly lands in the Atalanta dugout. And still on the bench, although Xabi Alonso has played his ace really at half time there with Victor Boniface. Still options on the bench there. Robert Andrich is there, Nathan Tella, Patrick Schick. His side need to step it up here if they are to do step 2 of the unbeaten treble. Like I said earlier, Atalanta weren't just here to make up the numbers, and there's a foul on Ademola Lookman by Edmund Tapsoba, and he joins his teammate Florian Wirtz in the notebook of Istvan Kovac. Yeah, I mean, take your pick on the foul there. He had his hand on his foot outstretched towards the Nigerian, who has been superb tonight. To say he has been a thorn in Bayer Leverkusen's side is an understatement. Just a wonderful, wonderful performance from the Nigerian international. Now we're going to see a sub here for Bayer Leverkusen. I mentioned the German international Robert Andrich. He is coming on for Ezekiel Palacios, who, well, it's fair to say has not had his best evening, nor has this man Alex Grimaldo, also going off, and Adam Hrozek, the Czech international, is on for him. So that's Andrich and Hrozek on for Palacios and Grimaldo, as we've got about 22 plus stoppage time to go here at the Aviva Stadium in Dublin. Mark Strange here on Flashco UK duty. Atalanta 2, Bayer Leverkusen 0 in this Europa League final. Now Boniface down the left hand side as Adli sprinting past him here. Victor Boniface cuts in field. Now there's Andrich. Ooh, heavy touch initially from the substitute. His first touch was a poor one, but it rolls for Frimpong now. Goes back to Andrich midway inside the Atalanta half. Tapsoba. Andrich now Ta in the centre circle. Dean Nkape left hand side midway inside the Atalanta half for the Ecuadorian. And two between he and Adli, and again Bayer Leverkusen are forced backwards by Atalanta pressure. Here's Ta, the captain. Atalanta trying to come forward there with Lookman, but stopped in his tracks, and now Bayer Leverkusen have themselves a free kick on the right hand side, and eventually I thought he'd escaped again there, but Tun Koopmeiners goes into the referee's notebook for hauling back Florian Wirtz. I mean, if he wanted his shirt he could have waited after the game. He basically ripped it off his shoulder there, Tun Koopmeiners, but the free kick comes to nothing and Musso will clear. Zappacosta brings it down nicely in his chest in the centre circle now to Lookman on the left hand side on halfway. Plays a pass to the far side, which I'm not really sure who it was meant for, but too long for Mario Pasalic anyway from Lookman. Here's Xhaka, midway inside his own half to Wirtz. Andrich, whose performances this season earned him a first German call-up in March and has seen him added to Julian Nagelsmann's provisional Euro squad at least, but I think it would be a surprise if he didn't make it to the finals on home soil, which start in less than a month's time. We'll have you covered all the way through the Euros and the big games from the Copa America this summer. It's been a wonderful season of club football, and now we're in for a wonderful summer of international football. We'll have you covered every step of the way here at Flash Score UK. And Atalanta, well, they're a few steps away from European glory for the first time in their history. Zappacosta flicks one on, picked up by Xhaka on halfway on the left hand side. This has not been Bayer Leverkusen's night, but they are not out of this by any means. Andrich, Tapsoba midway inside the Atalanta half, faced up by Ederson and Lookman, so he goes lateral to Xhaka. Now on the left touchline for Adli. Looking for Boniface, but straight to Jim City, but Ta beats Scamacca. Now Atalanta are certainly lying deeper and deeper here. Well, it's frustrated Leverkusen so far. Here's Incape into the corner. Wirtz as well. Scalvini and Pasalic are in there, and Scalvini comes away that he's been excellent since coming on at the break. Giorgio Scalvini, now he's away on a run down the right hand side. He looks for Scamacca, but he claimed his foul, but it looked more like a slip on Jonathan Ta. But Scalvini has been excellent since coming off the bench at half time for the, well, we think injured Sead Kolasinac. Now here's Frimpong. He runs into trouble, but Andrich has it now, but no, Frimpong has fouled Ederson according to the referee, much to the Dutchman's dismay. He's had a frustrating night, Jeremy Frimpong. Like many in this Leverkusen team, it's felt this season like he could do no wrong, but also like many in his team tonight, it has not been his night. And well, the referee not taking any nonsense tonight. I said earlier how he booked Florian Wirtz for complaining, and Robert Andrich is barely off the bench, and he is picking up the card himself for his protest. The referee is Van Kovac, and now the referee's underway. I thought he was running back towards the VAR screen or to speak to somebody. He's running with some purpose, but it was just to get the game back underway. One ball forward looking for Scamacca again, but he's out-muscled by Tapsoba, and it'll go into the gloves of Mate Kovac, who was well beaten for both goals. Nothing he could do for either of them, but he has been unworked here in the second half. But frustratingly for Bayer Leverkusen, Juan Musso hasn't really been worked too much either. Now here's Wirtz in the centre circle. Clips one over the top for Frimpong. He chests it down to Tapsoba. Back to Wirtz on halfway. Stings one in there to Frimpong on the edge of the box. Now Frimpong to Adli. Oh, blue and black shirts all around him, and they get it clear. A combination of Koopmeiners and Pasalic do the damage high up into the Dublin night sky as Xhaka wins a header in midfield. And Boniface, well, Scamacca looked like he just jumped into Boniface there, but no free kick, says the referee. Now Andrich, midway inside the Atalanta half, looking for Wirtz. Lookman got in there ahead of him, wants a free kick but doesn't get it. But Atalanta have it with Scamacca here, and Ederson is running down the middle at breakneck speed, but Ta gets there Ederson was trying to get in between. Double, a fabulous double from the Nigerian. It's Atalanta 2, Bayer Leverkusen 0 at half time. Join me for the second 45, and we will see the last quarter of an hour here at the Aviva Stadium in Dublin, the 2024 UEFA Europa League final. Mark Strange with you on Flash Score UK. It's Atalanta 2, Bayer Leverkusen 0. Xabi Alonso's men, their unbeaten record, clinging on by a thread here. Pasalic, can Atalanta get a third? Away comes Scamacca, he's outnumbered because Lookman to his left. Pasalic arriving, Scamacca to Lookman, he's on a hat-trick on the edge of the box. Ademola Lookman, left foot shot, oh, he's got his hat-trick! Ademola Lookman with a hat-trick for Atalanta. He has rifled it high into the roof of the net. What a goal and what a night for Ademola Lookman and Atalanta. The 2024 UEFA Europa League is surely going back to Bergamo. A first ever Italian side to win the Europa League and a first ever European trophy for the boys from Bergamo. And the 2024 UEFA Europa League final will surely now forever be known as the Ademola Lookman final. What a goal. He had no other option there. He took on Tapsoba, he beat him, and a left-footed shot. What a stunner into the far corner from Ademola Lookman. And what a final. A couple of step overs, a bit of pace got him away from Tapsoba, and he could not have picked out a better spot in the corner than that. And it is Atalanta 3, Bayer Leverkusen 0. And surely now the Invincibles have been beaten. Surely now it's glory for La Dea, Gian Piero Gasperini, Atalanta and Ademola Lookman. What a virtuoso performance from the Nigerian international. And the Berg fans of Atalanta in the crowd are going utterly ballistic. They are dreaming now. Their dreams have almost come true of a European trophy, a first major trophy since 1963. The vast majority of their fans here tonight in this stadium, if not all of them, have never seen their side lift a major trophy. They were runners-up in the Coppa Italia last week. They don't want to be the bridesmaids again. And they have put Bayer Leverkusen to the sword. Musso, almost caught that outside his box. Very close. So close, in fact, that Leverkusen players think he might have taken it out of the box, but no, says the referee. But Ademola Lookman has forever etched his name into Atalanta history books, into Italian football history books, and into Europa League history books. What a night for Ademola Lookman and for Atalanta. His hat-trick has them 3-0 up over Xabi Alonso's men, who surely now have been beaten. It has not been their night, but I said all night, don't rule them out. But now it is going to take a lot for them to win a second European trophy. This is their third final. Back in 1988, when the UEFA Cup was still a two-legged final, they produced an incredible comeback that night. They were 3-0 down from the first leg. They won the second leg 3-0 and then won on penalties. They did that in 90 minutes. They've got about 12 to do it tonight. They're surely not going to do it. This Leverkusen team have done things beyond what anybody would have expected this season. They have done incredible things on an almost weekly basis. If they were to come back and even take this game to extra time now, this would surely be the most incredible night of the lot. But Atalanta, what a night for them. They have stepped up to the plate massively. And Ademola Lookman, my goodness me, what a performance from him. 3 sensational goals. As I see Patrick Schick waiting to come on. Is it going to be too late? Pasalic in behind for Scamacca in the penalty area. Back to Zappacosta on the right corner of the box. He lays it off to Ederson, the edge of the box. He's going to have a dig low, but it's an easy save that time for Kovac. He maybe had options there, the Brazilian, but he saw his name in lights. But the name that's going to be in lights in Dublin tonight, in Bergamo, all across Europe and all across the world of football is Ademola Lookman. It is Atalanta 3, Bayer Leverkusen 0. It's Ademola Lookman 3, Bayer Leverkusen 0. Here's Frimpong now. Looked like he was fouled there by Ruggeri. I think he was. Indeed, free kick taken quickly. Here's Wirtz. Leverkusen just not at their best tonight, and Atalanta have punished them. Here's Adli, has Klosek in the middle. Adley. Back to Wirtz, who's going to hit one himself, swerving, but easy save for Musso. He'll have those straight down the throat all day, the Argentinian goalkeeper. Atalanta to a man have been excellent tonight. Whatever Gian Piero Gasperini's tactics were before this match to stop the Invincibles, it has worked. It's actually with Patrick Schick and Nathan Tella both waiting to come on the sideline for Leverkusen. It feels like it might be too late as Incape and Scamacca both go tumbling the ground on the right hand side, and it's actually going to be a free kick to Bayer Leverkusen, and they're not going to be allowed to take it quickly. It's going to be a double sub, and one of those men coming off is Florian Wirtz. 80 minutes tonight, and he has been frustrated from minute one. He has had so many wonderful nights, so many wonderful games this year. The mercurial little midfielder tonight has not been one of them. He's off, as is Jeremy Frimpong, another man who so often this season has pulled off virtuoso performances in the league, Europe and the Cup, but not tonight for the Dutchman. He's off and Nathan Tella is on, so it's Wirtz and Frimpong off for Schick and Tella with what is now 9 minutes of normal time to go, and immediately Nathan Tella comes in with a good tackle on the far touchline, but it's out for a throw in. Matteo Ruggeri will take just inside the Bayer Leverkusen half on the left hand side. Oh, lovely from Ederson. He jinks past Andrich. Now here's Scamacca, 25 yards from goal. He's going to hit one deflected. Ooh, Kovac was there. Could have been nasty for the Czech goalkeeper, but he got plunged down on it well. And well, you can't blame him for any of these goals. Lookman scored 3 wonderful goals. 2 of them absolute rockets from outside the box. The other wonderful movement. Nobody in a white shirt picked him up. But Bayer Leverkusen, 51 unbeaten. They've set a European record for the most games ever unbeaten. They've set a Bundesliga record. The only team to ever win the Bundesliga unbeaten. To win it their first time so far, to do it in such a way is incredible. They wanted this to be step 2 of 3. They're still heavy favourites for the domestic double on Saturday, but tonight this has not gone their way. There's a cross for Schick that gets deflected wide. He tried a little flick there, but Jim City got in the way and deflects it behind for a corner. The substitute immediately getting involved there. But Xabi Alonso has brought on all the options off his bench, and so far it just hasn't worked for them. Leverkusen will go to Berlin on Saturday to take on second tier Kaiserslautern in the DVB Pokal final, in what will surely be part 2 of a domestic double. But Europe is one step too far as a corner comes in, and Boniface got the last touch in front of Musso and out for a goal kick as Xabi Alonso stands stoically on the bench, arms folded. We're going to see a double sub here now for Atalanta. And the first man to come off is Gianluca Scamacca. He hasn't got on the goals tonight, the big Italian international, but he has been a threat up front and has perhaps had Leverkusen defenders worried enough that Ademola Lookman has had time to work. So an excellent evening for Scamacca. He's going to be replaced by El Bilal Touré for the last 7 minutes. And the other sub then sees Davide Zappacosta come off. He's had a great evening, set up the first for Lookman, and has been up and down the right flank all night, digging a trench up there. He's replaced by another Dutchman here, Hans Hatteboer. So that's Hatteboer and Touré here on for Zappacosta and Scamacca. Touré immediately throws his weight around there on Ta, but the Leverkusen captain will divert it back to his goalkeeper, all in lime green, Mate Kovac. He chips it forward from the edge of the box. Hatteboer with a first touch gets in there in front of Tella. There's the ball sent down the line for El Bilal Touré to chase. But again, Ta is going to beat him to it. Ooh, it's a short back pass, and Kovac comes out but has to slide it into touch. And Xabi Alonso not happy with something in the sideline. I don't know whether it's the official or his side there, but Ta, dear me, with a criminal back pass there to his goalkeeper that Toure nearly latched onto, but Kovac was able to come out but had to slice his clearance into touch. Away by Atalanta, and well, it looks as though Gian Piero Gasperini's men are on the verge of history here. They are on the verge of something special. They're on the verge of becoming the first Italian side to ever win the Europa League, the first Italian side to win Europe's second tier in the 21st century. And their first ever European trophy as a club, only promoted back to the top tier just 13 years ago. Their last major trophy, 1963 Coppa Italia. They lost, of course, the Coppa final this day last week to Juventus, and they have come to Dublin here determined that they are not going to be the bridesmaids for a second time in a week. Their victory away at Lecce at the weekend means they will be playing Champions League football next season. They actually have 2 more games left this season. Atalanta, they'll be playing right the way into June. Incredibly, they play Torino on Sunday evening in what should be their last game, but they will actually finish all the way on the 2nd of June, next Sunday, due to games being rescheduled. Fiorentina are in the Conference League final this day next week against Olympiacos, a game you can also hear live on Flash Score as Scalvini, who has been excellent since coming off the bench, clears the attempted cross there from Adli. With that game against Fiorentina, it's due to be played next midweek, but because of their involvement in the Conference League final, and because of Atalanta's involvement in the Europa League final, the 2 Italian teams making the final, that's been pushed back to the 2nd of June. I'm sure neither of them really mind that too much. But for Atalanta, their work is done in the league, and it looks like their work is done in Europe. An historic season, an historic night here. But surely now even Bayer Leverkusen and all of their late dramatics, all of their staying power in games cannot come back from. Xhaka looks over the top for Boniface, but a mixture of Ruggeri and Hyen will keep him back. It's a throw into Leverkusen on the line, edge of the 18-yard box. Bayer Leverkusen, of course, Dutch Cup, or the German Cup final. They didn't just change nation. The German Cup final this Saturday night against Kaiserslautern. They're heavy favourites to make it a domestic double, but the invincible treble appears to be just one step beyond them. This side will taste defeat for the first time in over a year. April last year was the last time they lost a game. Quite incredible, it really is. Adley, blocked by Ederson, comes back to Adley. Now Hlozek. Xhaka chips one forward. Schick is waiting for it. Oh, it goes to ground. Hlozek. Looked to be a penalty. Nothing doing, says Istvan Kovac. I don't know if he's getting any advice in his ear there. Hlozek certainly threw himself to the ground in the 6-yard box, but nothing given. And now Pasalic is on the break. And now it's Toure, left corner of the penalty area. Had Boers getting forward. Toure doesn't use him. Shot blocked. Toure wins the header from the rebound, but Pasalic is forced out of the penalty area. We're seconds away from the 90-minute mark. And in fact, that wouldn't have mattered anyway, as there's a late offside call, I think, against Mario Pasalic. Or is it perhaps going to be a VAR check for that challenge? Yeah, it is, from Giorgio Scalvini on Adam Hlozek. And well, that third Atalanta goal might well have come just at a perfect time, because if this penalty is given, then it could be 3-1, which is a lot nicer, certainly going to stoppage time, than 2-1. And I think, you know, Scalvini, if this isn't given, might be a lucky boy. Going to see a sub here for Atalanta. Coming off Matteo Ruggeri, who likes Zappacosta, been up and down the touchline all night. And coming on as the club captain, Rafael Toloi. Martin de Roon is the captain when he's on the pitch, but the club captain, the experienced veteran Rafael Toloi, is coming on here now in stoppage time to see this one out. De Roon doesn't look like he's going to get on the field tonight, as he was amongst the subs tonight. Not expected to play, hasn't so far, as we're a minute into 4 added on, as a overhit pass out to the right for Nathan Tella just about sums up Leverkusen's night. And Toloi is straight over there to take the throw in with his first touch. I say we're a minute into the 4. I'd imagine we'll have a little added on due to that VAR check. Toloi to Ederson, who hooks one forward. And we are moments away from Atalanta confirming their place in the history books. I said at the top of the broadcast that Atalanta are the latest side to stand in the way of Leverkusen. Hlozek hits one. Rasping drive, it just whistles past the post of Musso. But I said that Atalanta were the latest side to stand in front of the freight train that has been Bayer Leverkusen this year. 51 times before them teams have done it, and 51 times they have failed. But tonight is not to be Leverkusen's night, and those fans, those German fans that have travelled here to Ireland, to the Irish capital, will taste defeat for the first time in over a year. They won't know what to do with themselves, these players and these fans, but they'll have to get themselves back up, because they'll be in Berlin on Saturday evening for the DVB Pokal final against Kaiserslautern. They'll be heavy favourites in that one, and you would think that they will be the cup champions for an incredible domestic double. They'll be hoping this is their only defeat this year, but Atalanta, it's taken until the 22nd of May, the penultimate game of Bayer Leverkusen's season, for them to taste defeat. They just haven't been the normal selves. They haven't been at the races tonight, as Hlozek is robbed by Ademola Lookman as we're into the last minute of stoppage time. But what a night from Atalanta, what a night from him. He has been inspired. He's also just been trod on there by Andrich, who has to be careful on a booking already, but an inspired night from Ademola Lookman. He opened the scoring on 12 minutes, getting on the end of Davide Zappacosta's cutback, as the Atalanta bench has already started dancing, as has Gian Piero Gasperini. They're not waiting for the final whistle. Zappacosta's cutback, it went behind Hayen and Scamacca, but Lookman got in front of Ezequiel Palacios, who switched off to make it 1-0. But here's Boniface. Is it going to be 3-1? He cuts back. No, it's blocked. Back to Hlozek, heavy touch, and Ederson clears. That sums up the night. Now Lookman has got space down the left hand side. Surely he's not going for 4. He has Toure and Pasalic in the middle. Happy to keep it out there with Toloi. After that, Lookman has scored 2 stunning goals, and that's us. The referee does only play it to 4, and Atalanta make history. The first major trophy since 1963. Their first ever European trophy. The first Italian side to win the Europa League. The first Italian side to win Europe's second tier this century. And they have beaten the Invincibles. The Invincibles no more, Bayer Leverkusen. They have fallen 3-0 to Atalanta. And Ademola Lookman hat-trick has seen La Dea over the line and has seen Die Werksel beaten for the first time in over a year.